Snow poured down heavily on Christmas Eve, blanketing the city streets in soft white silence. Twinkling lights reflected off the frozen sidewalks, and the world outside felt cold and distant. But inside a small cozy cafe downtown, warmth and coffee filled the air. By the window sat a woman in a bright red coat, checking her watch again and again. Her name was Emily Carter. In her world, people were never late. Not her assistants. Not her clients. Not even her drivers. As the successful CEO of a fast-growing tech company, Emily lived by schedules, meetings, and precision. Every minute mattered. But tonight, on Christmas Eve of all nights, her blind date was already 40 minutes late. She sighed softly and reached for her purse, ready to leave. Then something deep inside her whispered. Wait a little longer. And that tiny decision, that single moment of patience, was about to change her life forever. Hey everyone, welcome back to your channel name, where we share emotional stories filled with love, kindness, hope, and second chances. If stories like this touch your heart, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's begin today's story. Blind date on Christmas Eve. Emily had almost given up on love. Running a multi-million-dollar company left little room for relationships, and most of the men she met seemed more interested in her wealth than her heart. But her best friend Jenna refused to let her quit so easily. He's not rich, Jenna had told her with a smile. But he's kind. And honestly, I think kindness is exactly what's missing from your life. After weeks of convincing, Emily finally agreed to one last blind date. The plan was simple. Meet at Café Amore at 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. Just coffee. No pressure. But now the clock read 7:43. Still no sign of him. Outside, snow continued falling endlessly while the cafe staff slowly began cleaning up for closing time. Even the barista was wiping down empty tables. Emily stared at her reflection in the window and let out another disappointed sigh. 5 more minutes, she thought. Then I'm leaving. Just as she stood up, the cafe doors suddenly burst open with the sharp jingle of bells. A rush of freezing air swept inside along with swirling snowflakes. A man stumbled through the entrance, breathing heavily as if he had been running for miles. I'm so sorry I'm late, he said between breaths. The bus broke down, and then my babysitter cancelled at the last minute. Emily blinked. This was Daniel. And he looked nothing like the men she usually dated. His coat was old and worn. His shoes looked weathered from years of hard work. His rough hands carried the marks of someone who worked every single day just to survive. But his eyes. His eyes were warm. Gentle. Kind. And somehow, that mattered more. It's okay, Emily said quietly, sitting back down. You made it. For the next hour, they talked while soft Christmas music played in the background. Daniel shared his story honestly, without pretending to be someone he wasn't. He was a single father. 3 years earlier, his wife had passed away from cancer, leaving him alone to raise their 5-year-old daughter, Lily. During the day he worked at a warehouse. At night he delivered packages across the city just to pay the bills. But when he talked about Lily, his entire face lit up. Christmas is her favorite holiday, he said with a small laugh. She doesn't care that we can't afford much. We have this tiny plastic tree from a thrift store. He smiled softly. But she calls it her magic Christmas tree. Something tightened in Emily's chest. She couldn't remember the last time Christmas had felt magical to her. Her holidays had become business parties, luxury gifts, and empty conversations. But sitting across from Daniel felt different. Real. Warm. Human. Hours passed before either of them noticed the cafe lights dimming for closing. As they stood outside beneath the falling snow, Daniel rubbed the back of his neck awkwardly. I almost didn't come tonight, he admitted quietly. I didn't think someone like you would wait for someone like me. Emily looked at him for a moment. Then smiled gently. I'm really glad I did. And for the first time in years. She truly meant it. The next morning, Christmas Day arrived covered in soft morning snow. But Emily couldn't stop thinking about Daniel and little Lily. She kept imagining that tiny plastic tree, and a little girl believing it was magical. So Emily did something unexpected. Something she hadn't done in years. Something purely kind. She went shopping. She bought toys, children's books, warm winter clothes, and a beautiful glowing star for the top of Lily's Christmas tree. Then she wrapped every gift carefully in gold paper and attached a handwritten note. For Lily's magic Christmas tree, from someone who still believes in kindness. Using the address Daniel had texted her the night before, Emily quietly left the presents outside his apartment door before driving away unnoticed. Later that afternoon, Daniel returned home exhausted from work. The moment Lily opened the door, she screamed with excitement. "Daddy! Santa came!" Daniel froze when he saw the beautifully wrapped box sitting outside their apartment. Slowly, he opened the note. And as he read Emily's words, tears filled his eyes. He looked around the empty snowy street and whispered softly. "Thank you, Emily." That night, while Lily danced happily around their little tree wearing her new coat, Daniel felt something he hadn't felt in a very long time. Hope. Months passed. Winter faded into spring, and Emily became busy with work again. But somehow, she never forgot Christmas Eve. Then one afternoon, an email appeared in her inbox. "Hey Emily. I know you're probably busy, but Lily has a school play this weekend. She's playing a snowflake. She asked if you could come. It may not be your kind of event, but it would mean a lot to us." Emily smiled at the screen. And without hesitation, she cleared her entire schedule. At the school gymnasium, she spotted Daniel sitting proudly in the back row with an old camera in his hands. The moment Lily saw Emily enter, her face lit up with joy. After the performance, Lily ran straight into Emily's arms. "Thank you for the Christmas star," she whispered. "It's still on our tree." Emily looked up at Daniel, whose eyes were filled with quiet gratitude. And in that moment, she realized something powerful. Kindness doesn't just change other people. Sometimes, it changes you too. 1 year later, Café Amore glowed once again with Christmas lights, laughter, and holiday music. At a corner table sat Daniel, nervously adjusting his clean new jacket while Lily sipped hot chocolate beside him. Then the café door opened. Emily walked in wearing the same red coat from the year before. "She's here!" Lily shouted excitedly. Emily laughed and hugged her tightly. Daniel stood up smiling warmly. "Traffic okay this time?" Emily teased. Daniel chuckled. "I made sure to catch the early bus." They spent the evening talking, laughing, and sharing the kind of warmth that can't be bought with money. Outside, snow slowly drifted down from the dark winter sky. Emily gently reached across the table, brushing Daniel's hand. "Do you ever think about how one small choice can change everything?" she asked softly. Daniel nodded. "Every single day." He smiled at her. "You waited for me that night, and because of that, I got a second chance at happiness." Emily's eyes shimmered under the cafe lights. "Maybe we both did." And there, on Christmas Eve, beneath glowing lights and falling snow, two broken hearts found love again. Not through perfect timing. Not through wealth. But through patience. Compassion. And kindness. Emily learned that success means nothing without love. Daniel learned that even during life's hardest moments, kindness can open unexpected doors. And little Lily learned something beautiful too. Sometimes angels don't have wings. Sometimes, they simply wear red coats and bring stars for your Christmas tree. So if life ever makes you impatient, frustrated, or ready to give up on someone. Remember this story. Because sometimes the greatest blessings arrive disguised as small moments of patience and kindness. And kindness costs nothing. But it can change everything. Thank you for listening to today's story on your channel name. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little hope today. Merry Christmas, everyone. Stay kind. Red Heart.